on air, online, on the go. Fox Toledo News at 10 starts right now.
Not really the resounding yes many people were looking for today when it comes to the possibility of Fiat building in Toledo. Good evening, I'm Laura Emerson. The new CEO of Chrysler toured the Jeep plant today, along with the vice president. Comments from the new Chrysler boss about Fiat might surprise some people. Here's Fox's Sean Hegarty with that story.
Yeah, for people out there that aren't familiar with the new CEO, his name is Sergio Marchionne. He used to run just Fiat, but now he's overseeing the entire Chrysler-Fiat partnership. So today he was asked about how Toledo would be a good fit in with that Fiat brand that is now a part of Chrysler. On the surface, though, you'd say the line that produces the Jeeps in North Toledo wouldn't work for those smaller Fiats, but it's one of the top-rate technology that they have there. Some wondered if Fiat would do more work there. And today, we pretty much got to know.
I mentioned in all likelihood that Toledo would not be the beneficiary of a Fiat vehicle. I said nothing about Alpha. We're looking, especially on the platform that is being used here.
So it's a no on Fiat and a maybe on Alfa Romeo, a Fiat brand. Chrysler CEO Sergio Marchionne says he doesn't see a Fiat coming off these lines anytime soon, but he says the company is committed to Toledo in Jeeps.
Very. I mean, you saw the car here today. That is a great vehicle, by the way, especially after the last changes that we made to the vehicle. Yeah, it's a world-class.
He says he's always believed in the auto industry and Chrysler itself. Fiat got a 35% stake in Chrysler during the government bailout days. Chrysler got access to that small vehicle technology that Fiat is known for. Now Marchionne must mold it all together. Today, he was asked about all the different Chrysler brands.
The Jeep is unique. Dodge is a very wide, sort of popular brand, and Rams are trucks. The only question that it could have ever arisen was between Chrysler and Dodge. And those two brands are so distinctly different in terms of heritage and coverage that it would have been impossible for us to close one.
Marchionne says that multi-brand idea shouldn't surprise people because it's something that's become quite common here in the U.S., but you have seen automakers cut back on some brands. Today, though, it didn't seem like you'd see that from Chrysler anytime soon. Reporting live, Sean Hegarty, Fox Toledo News.
All right, thank you, Sean. Vice President Joe Biden was the reason Chrysler's CEO was in Toledo today. The VP excitedly talked about what he sees as the turnaround of the American auto industry, crediting the workers and the work that's been done by the federal government. Barrett Andrews continues our Team Fox coverage.
To put it simply, the vice president stressed the fact that the bailout worked and the auto industry is headed in the right direction, despite what the naysayers argued.
Look, we heard loud and clear from our opponents. Remember these phrases? The market will sort it out. Translated, middle-class people's body will litter the roadside.
A no-holds-barred comment from Vice President Joe Biden. And I told you so of sorts to those who said the government bailouts of GM and Chrysler were a mistake. Biden says not only were they not a mistake, most, if not all of these Jeep and supply chain workers would be out on the street if they didn't make this call.
Our goal was to do everything we could as fast as we could to keep this great recession from morphing into a depression.
On top of that, he told the crowd of several hundred people inside the Toledo North Assembly plant the deal worked out even better than expected.
The American taxpayer actually made some money. That's right. The American taxpayer has paid back in full and made interest on their investment.
As for jobs, he says under Barack Obama's leadership, there have been over 76,000 new jobs created by automakers, and compared that to the positions eliminated during the Bush administration.
Our first year, 76,300. Their last year were 430,000 lost. It's a huge reversal, and one we'd never have seen had we listened to those who told us to walk away.
Biden also touched on a new concept, insourcing, the opposite of outsourcing, saying last year less than half the parts in a Jeep Wrangler were made here in the U.S. This year, that's up to nearly 80%. Reporting tonight, Barrett Andrews, Fox Toledo News.
The idea, if we had let these industries go under, American automobile industry go under, it would have cracked the supply chain for the only healthy company, Ford, and it would have literally cost hundreds of thousands of additional jobs.
Vice President Biden again stressing the importance of the bailout. He took a quick tour of the assembly line at Toledo's Jeep plant before his speech today. Along with the jobs it could have cost at Ford, Biden placed a lot of emphasis on those supplier jobs. Several independent supply chain companies work on the Chrysler property there in North Toledo. Of course, not everyone agrees with the government bailout of automakers. Congressional candidate Rich Ayotte released a statement today. In it, he says the key to economic recovery will be to get the federal government out of the way of the private sector expansion and let American businesses and American workers do what they do best, create valuable products and meaningful jobs. Hundreds of Jeep workers, along with workers from the supplier park, crowded to hear the vice president speak. After it was over, we asked them what they thought of his speech.
I thought it was good. I thought he really laid it on everybody here of what we're looking for as far as the, where the economy's going and everything. And it was good seeing him and good hearing from all the politicians up there.
Him really relate to the loss of the jobs and to the fact that we are growing and rebuilding, and that he realizes that just because one factory went down, it wasn't just a factory, it was a bunch of people's jobs and a bunch of people's lives and their dignity. I thought that was really refreshing.
To listen to even more of what the vice president had to say today, you can head to our website, foxtoledo.com.